Hello, this is Michael from VR Game Truck, Nebraska. This video is for you VR game truck operators out there. I'm getting so many questions lately about how I run my programs that I think I have one of the most diversive programs in the terms of what I do with the game truck, because I have figured it out to so many different types of events. So in this video, I'm going to be going over my entertainment VR event that I do for when I do for large fairs or for city events, anything that's going to require me operating the game truck in a way that's going to service more than 24 people, that I have to get through lots of people. So, we want to do these big city events. We can make a lot of money doing them, but how do we get through this much people? And as I see it, there's only two ways to do this. You load your trailer to capacity, and you set a timer, kick them out every so often like you would a bouncy house. Or the way I do it, which I like a lot better, is to use an analogy, I operate it more like a carnival ride. So I have a rotation system. So this rotation system, I have 18 people on the bench playing multiplayer console games, and I will go more in depth in a little bit of what I use for those games in each station. And then I have 6 VR people playing, and then I can load 24 people in the trailer, 22 to 24 depending on what I'm putting on for the console games. Then I will set timers on the stations based on the demand at the door, either 5 to 15 minutes, and then I will rotate those people, actually 5 to 20 minutes I'll put them on, and then I'll rotate those people at the VR stations out to the back of the line, and if they want to go get her, they're welcome to go do something else at the event. And then I take the new players and put them on the bench. So the bench kind of is a holding area till the people get a chance to play VR, so they can have fun with other kids playing multiplayer console games, and then they get their chance of VR. Now the multiplayer console games are set. I do not change them during a big event. There just isn't time for that. Whatever I put on there is what I'm going to put on there. And then the VR games, though, I give them choices of what they can do. So the way I set up, well, let's just talk about the VR side first. The way I set up the VR is I have a sitting VR, a standing VR, a sitting VR, a standing VR, and then there's the VR car and the VR aircraft. And then we'll have another VR station kind of on the other side where the bench is, but I don't use that for large events because I want that space for Smash Brothers at the end. So I don't put anybody on there. So I just have 6 VR stations. So sitting, standing, sitting, standing, and then the VR car, VR aircraft. The point of this is so that you could put a game on the sitting station. So on 1 and 3, you could have a game, and then at the end, you could have a game. And you're not blocking anybody. There's only 2 slots where people are standing. Everywhere else, they're sitting, so they'll be able to see the TVs. Okay, so now it doesn't matter if you use a PSVR 1 or PSVR 2, whatever your preferences or whatever your games. I am starting to move into PSVR 2. So right now, I do have just 2 PSVR 2 headsets. So I put them at Station 1 and Station 3 for the sitting games are. And the reason for this is because I find there's more good games. Before with the PSVR 1, those sitting stations, I had to only use the DualShock games at the sitting stations, even if they could play it sitting with the wands, because I found that the cameras were like cross-tracking when I had wand by wand a lot in that kind of situation. So, especially at a fair, I don't want to mess with that, trying to get them to work. A birthday party is a little different. I might mess with it more and see if I can get it to work right, but just to save the issue, I just completely cut that out. So I only had those games there. So now I use a PSVR 2 headset on 1 and 3, and then the PSVR 1 still on 2 and 4 standing. Okay, and then on the other side, I put on set games that do not change. I will usually put on Mario Kart because it's a great game in the first station for anybody, and it's very popular. In the third station is a station that I kind of mix it up sometimes. If I want 24, I got to put on Turtles because that's a 6-player game and I can stick 6 people in there, and it's a popular game, Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Okay. Otherwise, I have to, and I use the Switch for these, obviously, for the console games when I'm doing a large event. And then Or I might switch it up. A lot of times when I'm doing a prom, I gotta go down to 22, but I will put on Call of Duty there, as long as it allows those type of games, because Call of Duty, and it's Black Ops 2 that I put on because it's the last one that's 4-player split screen. Any one after Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is 2-player split screen. They just changed the way they did it. They claim that they can't handle doing 4-player anymore or whatever. That's the way they want to do it with the new whatever they're doing with Call of Duty. So I just stay, and people like the old one, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, so I just stick with that because I can stick 4 people on there. And then at the very end, we have Smash with 8. So those are the console games I'll do. So if I want to switch it up, and I sometimes do, it's at that 3rd station, I'll switch it up a little bit. Okay, so besides that, on the VR stations, we're like, what are we going to put on for VR? I give them a choice, but you have to we can't just sit there all day if you're doing a big event, so you got to give them a limited choice. So for the standing stations, I say if you like a beat game, we could play Beat Saber. You hit blocks to the beat. Obviously, we know that's popular. If you play Beat Saber a lot, you want an alternative to that, why don't you try Sith Riders? It's like boxing the beat. And then if you want a shooting game, you can play Space Pirates. You have laser guns. You shoot stuff as it comes with you. The older kids, I'll recommend Pistol Whip. And I tell them it's more of a John Wick feeling. You got to move a lot and shoot. Or you can play Fruit Ninja. You slice fruit. Or if you want something scary, you can play Five Nights at Freddy in VR. Those are the choices I give them when I'm doing a big event. Now, sometimes I'll get kids that know other games and they'll be more picky and try stuff, and they'll name a game by name. If they know that, then I'll let them put it on. I have about everything that's good, but I got to give them a quick idea of something because I need to get the VR people going as fast as possible. I usually have a second staff at these big events to handle getting people from the line to the bench to do the console stuff, and then I'm just the whole time I'm going VR station to VR station to VR station, setting people up with a game and then kicking them out the door, and it keeps me very busy. So then on the first and the 3rd station now, I'm just working on this. This is the first year I've done PSVR 2, so I'm kind of trying to figure out what games that will be good that people could get into quickly. So I'm still kind of working on this, but what I have right now is, okay, if you want to play a beat game, you can play Drums Rock. It's a sitting down game where you hit drums to the beat. I find that game a lot of fun and easy for people to learn. Okay, if you want a shooting game, if you want realistic like Call of Duty like shooter when it comes to older kids, you can play Crossfire Sierra Squad. Okay, and then for younger kids, I'm going to recommend Captain Toonhead, or you can play a futuristic shooter called Runner. Those are the 3 shooters I really recommend that I think are really good. And then I asked them, if you want to play a sword game, you can play Until You Fall. Until You Fall is a lot of fun sitting down, and you don't have to worry about them actually whacking themselves. That's the only game that I've really hurt myself before playing. I don't know why. I always whack something if I'm playing that game standing. So, and then besides that, I say if you like roller coasters, on Epic Roller Coasters, there's this SpongeBob roller coaster. I'll put them on that. You could play that. If you want a platform game, we have Stilts, and that's a lot of fun now. It's like a Mario, I would say it's like a Mario kind of style game, but you're pushing down to make yourself jump with the controllers as you go. And that's what I've been recommend. Oh, and then one more. If you want to play a game like Mario Kart, Galaxy Karts. And Galaxy Karts is awesome now since it's had its updates. It is a very good kart racer for a Mario Kart style kind of VR. So those are the games I recommend they play. And then obviously on the end, we have the aircraft and we have the car. Now, some people on the car I haven't upgraded it to PSVR 2 yet for Gran Turismo. I really want to. The only thing that's holding me back is it's first person only Gran Turismo, so you're only right behind the steering wheel. And the one I use right now, Drive Club, the PSVR 1 with the steering wheel, lets you shift to third person. And some people really like that view because I show them you can be behind the steering wheel or you can be the car and you shift and then you a lot of them will choose to be behind the car. So that's what kind of stopped me from getting it. Eventually I'm only going to, because I'm sorry, but Gran Turismo looks so much better. I don't care if it's only in just first person behind the steering wheel. That Drive Club, Drive Club looks blurry compared to that. It's so much sharper. with the new headset and everything else. It's just Gran Turismo is awesome. So and then for the flying games, lately I've been playing. You know, you have Ace Combat, but I was having problems that people really had that were new would just like flip around and crash all the time and having so much trouble playing that game. So I put on there, what is it called? I think it's, I always get this title confused, 1977, I think, Back to Midway. It's like a tribute to 1944, but you're always flying straight forward with that one. And it has these things called immersion zones when you go to the Z icons, but that way they're always flying straight forward and they just hit the button to shoot. And I find that works a lot better, especially for large events. And then if I get older kids and they get tired of that, I'll put on Ace Combat or Star Wars Squadrons. So those are the 3 games that you could kind of have with your Thrustmaster, you know, air, if you have the air simulator station in your VR game truck. So that's how I do big events. So yeah, I will try to do more videos. So many people have been asking me questions, and I'm just going to try to update and kind of say what I do. Next, I have lots of stuff to go over. I like to do a video on what we do for educational VR, and I like to do a video on Squad Up, what I'm doing now, because I think I have the most comprehensive offering and going beyond just Fortnite, because when we do the internet upgrade, we have multiplayer games we can play together. So I have a special setup for that, and it's getting a lot more complicated. Next year, I'll be even more complicated because, and better, because we will have 4 PSVR 2 headsets, I think, by then. And then we can do stuff like Among Us with 4 players, which will be Among Us VR will be awesome. There's a new mech game that's on there that is okay. I mean, it's okay. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's kind of got an Overwatch feeling. It's okay. But there's other stuff that's coming out that I think will be great. Yeah, so that's how I do big events. If you have any questions, you can, let's just try to stay on topic just with big events. Ask me in the video. If there's anything you want to see a video on, let me know. But yeah, I just thought I answered these questions because I think I do more things with the game. Like, I've reached the potential of what you could do, like with a single game truck, like how you can run events. I think I have so many things because I have my entertainment VR event, my Jesus VR event, and my educational VR event. And they all are just a little different how I run them and how we organize things. So I will talk more about those in other videos. But for now, that was my entertainment, what I do for big events, for just the entertainment portion, which is going to be probably the main great chunk of your business besides birthday parties, is doing that, just doing those big events that are entertainment events. And then I will do a video on some of the other ones. I do get some business that just wants to do educational VR, Jesus VR. I have a special organization for that. I cut my rates in half to get that out to more people that can't afford the higher budget. So I will talk about that in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have a great day.